As I mentioned, I'm going to narrate you in next 10 minutes a journey of ours, a journey which has been full of learning, full of fun, and a lot of challenges. And I hope in next 10 minutes it conveys the same passion that we had in our journey. So let's go about it. So I would title it as Adoption of Infrastructure as Code in UOB. And I have 7 slides to present here. So as in any journey, there's always a starting point. For us, the starting point was in bank in early 2020, decided to move on to CIS-based security standards. Now, when we look at this particular change that came on to us, right, UOB has a fleet of servers, large fleet of servers, and you name the operating system, we have it. This change had to be deployed across all the live systems within a very stiff timeline. So naturally, we had to look towards a new way of working. The work was big. The work involved number of teams, multiple teams, and it was high risk. So when we brought on all these assessments together, probably we were looking at a definition of DevOps being implemented in UOB. And this is the definition of DevOps from one of the very, powerful leader, emphatic leader we found very close to Adam Jacob. DevOps is a cultural and professional movement focused on how we build and operate high velocity. I mean, this is what we needed. We had to bring people together to do this very big change, and we had to leverage on very expert people in UOB who come from very rich backgrounds. So that is the power that we had to tap on, bring them all together, and implement very close to what is said here, the version of DevOps. As in any mission, there has to be a mission definition. So the mission definition we took up was that we had to express our configuration, infrastructure configuration, as a code, just like in the application development, put it nicely in a version control repository, and then deploy it through consistent pipelines across SIT, UAT productions, weaving through all the approvals, testing, and validation steps. So we have a known, one consistent way of taking things to production. So this was our mission statement. So aligning with the mission statement, right, we started coding. So we no special hiring was done. We brought in highly motivated individuals in the bank. Right, they started developing the cookbooks and the inspect profile, the two very keywords from Chef, and they started translating the CIS-based documents into the executable documentation, which is inspect, which checks the code, and it's hand in hand Chef cookbook, which makes this particular code. All right, so if this is good, we move ahead. Right, so, okay, this slide comes in a bit earlier. Anyway, change it. So when this code development was going along, right, you have to read this particular deck from down. So we also try to stitch across a pipeline which could take the things to production. So we staged Chef, Bitbucket, a version code repository, Jenkins, and Artifactory, a pipeline which could automatically deliver the things to production. And this we called as platform, enterprise IAC platform. And this particular metrics, not right there. Then, so this started delivering things to production, and in the manner which I talked earlier, in a consistent, tested, and automated way. And any platform, there have to be process and patterns and governance. That's what we built up as a third layer. And we started doing a lot more on Chef as compared to, what was a product native capability. We took some of the implementation from other products like Ansible, BigFix, and we came up with our own version of Chef implementation. So what right now looks in Chef, comes in Chef in UOB is very different from what the product actually has. So we came up with some imperative patterns, which is not in line with the Chef declarative patterns. We developed some in-house schedule scans as well. And of course, we needed to tap on the people, the power of people. So we onboarded a lot of different teams. And then the top one is easier, right? We started doing things through Chef. We started enabling projects through Chef, and we started enabling processes through Chef. Let's move over. Now, all this was technology, and all this was automation. it brought about a lot of transformation in the way we do our things. So typically the security admin who would write the documentation, the role was transformed to writing the inspect code. So he started actually coding. The system admin who would log into the system to do configuration changes, again, this was expressed as a code, and we started doing coding there. The requester emails, right, who would say, okay, make this setting in the production. He would now request his changes through a JSON file checked in Bitbucket. So this is whole transformation. So 4 years back, the things were manual, things were not tracked. Now they start happening everything as a code, right from maker code, checker code, as well as the requester as a code. So going back to the benefits, right? So in terms of compliance, it was do this. Now it is becoming more proactive. So we used to think, now we are here, let's take us there. The configurations which were initially manual, now there was no hands-off. We could actually do it in automated fashion, controlling the blast radius across different fleet of servers. Things, the incidents which used to cause, okay, what incident caused, we were now very transparent about. So when we have our incidents and problem resolution calls, we actually look at the code, we bring in the teams together, so there's no what happened on the system. We talk about this Jenkins build release, this particular code, and this could be an issue. And that's how we improve our efficiency, our code quality, and reduce the number of incidents. So it all becomes very transparent. And of course, you get the last one. From the long turnaround, it turned out to be very faster now. And in terms of collaboration, right? So we had different teams which used to sit in a different silo. They started working together. So this was whole collaborative effort. Changed the way things had been done in UOB. If you think this was just in Singapore, for UOB we did this across the whole group: Indonesia, Malaysia, China, Thailand. So we brought in different stakeholders to this new initiative of infrastructure as code. And as in any journey, it is very important to track where we are, how we are progressing, to get the same enthusiasm and momentum as we start. So what we do is we started getting the dashboards. So we put up some common understanding from the stakeholders around configurations. And we tracked everything through visualization tools. So we put up this dashboard. Okay, this is here we are in September, this is here we are in October. So this is what we started doing to track our progress. Okay, now coming back to this particular slide. So in terms of timeline, how quick we had done this change. So around June, we had the problem, we had the challenge, the team was fairly new. In fact, it was completely new. We all did not know how to write chef code. We did not know how to create the pipeline code. The Artifactory Bitbucket and Jenkins was new to us. So this is something was a challenge in July, August. Then we took up this challenge. We started developing code. We transformed our way of working. And by September, we had converted 80 to 90% of our configurations as code. And not only just for Windows and Linux, the modern systems. We did this for the systems which are not even supported by Chef, Solaris 10, AIX, VMware. So we went much beyond the product capability, and I would say now we have a house of experts in Chef in UOB. And we are flourishing, we are learning every day, and we are enjoying our journey. What's next? So this is my concluding slide. So the remediation, the operations through Chef continue. What we have also got along this 4.5 journey is a lot of data. So data is the new currency. Leveraging on this data, we want to drive certain self-healing operations and self-driving remediation. That's what's going to be a final frontier next. I think that's all I wanted to share this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Rakhee.